I have no qualification to speak on this assessment of Srimad Bhagavatam. But so whatever I could speak is just by the mercy of Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada, and the blessings of all the Vaishnavas. Guru Maharaj and Srila Prabhupada, so I can speak something meaningful to everyone and also bring some transformation for me. So it's a good prayer. Om Ajnana-Timirandhasya Anjanam-Shalataya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri-Gurave Namaha Sutatam-Malabhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Ayam Bhupakanyam Bhagavati Swapadandritam Vandeham Shri-Guru Shri-Yuta-Padakamalam Shri-Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri-Rupam Sagrajatam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sadhutam Pariganisetam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagan Lalita Shri Vishakanitam He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandhu Pate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhan Sute Devi Pranamani Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhya Evata Patitan Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gauranga Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Loke Bhakti Bhavati Naishtukim Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We are reading from Canto 3, Chapter 16, titled The Doorkeepers of Vaikuntha Jaya and Vidya, cursed by sages, text 7. Yatsevaya Charana Padma Pavitra Renum Sadhya Kshatakila Malam Pratilabdha Seelam Nashir Viraktam Apimam Vijahati Yasyah Preksha Itare Niyaman Vahanti. Synonyms of whom Sevaya by the service, Charana feet, Padma lotus, Pavitra sacred, Renam the dust, Sadhya immediately, Kshata wiped out, Akila all, Malam sins, Pratilabdha acquired, Sheelam disposition, Na not, Shri the goddess of fortune, Viraktam have no attachment, Api even though, Mam me, Vijahati leave, Yashya the goddess of fortune, Prekshalavataha for obtaining a slight favor, Itare others like Lord Brahma, Niyaman sacred vows, Vahanti observe. Translation. The Lord continued, because I am the servitor of my devotees, my lotus feet have become so safe that they immediately wipe out all sins and I have acquired such a disposition that the goddess of fortune does not leave me, even though I have no attachment for her. While others praise her beauty and observe sacred vows to secure from her even a slight favor. Slight favor. Purport is divine grace. Abhay Charnal Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The relationship between the Lord and his devotee is transcendently beautiful, as the devotee thinks that it is due to being a devotee of the Lord that he is elevated in all good qualities. So the Lord also thinks that it is because of his devotion to the servitor that all his transcendental glories are revealed. In other words, as the devotee is always anxious to render service to the Lord, so the Lord is ever anxious to render service to the devotee. The Lord admits herein that although he certainly has the quality that anyone who receives a slight particle of the dust of his lotus feet becomes at once great personality, this greatness is due to his affection for his devotee. It's because of this affection that the goddess of fortune does not leave him, and that not only one but many thousands of goddesses of fortune engage in his service. In the material world, simply to get a little favor from the goddess of fortune, people observe many rigid regulations of austerity and penance. The Lord cannot tolerate any inconvenience on the part of the devotee. He is therefore famous as Bhaktavatsala. So, just to bring the context, going on here, in the last chapter, we heard like Lord Brahma was explaining all the qualities of the Vaikuntha planets about the Lord and the people who live in the planet and who the forests are birds, plants, airplanes, and four different Lakshmis, all the stuff. So all the men in the Vaikuntha planet look like physically they look like Lord Himself, but they're always involved in the service of the Lord. And the trees are like Kalpavruksha trees, the desired trees, filled with all kinds of fruits, not like the material world seasonal fruits, but all fruits available all the time. And the birds stop singing to hear the humming of the king bees that resemble like Harikatha, the songs. And that's how the Vaikuntha plant is full of bliss and like Vaikuntha planes flying everywhere, and also Brahma explains like who can enter those planets and who cannot enter those planets. The first thing he explains like unfortunate people who are not interested in the description of Vaikuntha, they hear unworthy topics that bewilder their intelligence, um, take away their good fortune, and throw them into hell. Whereas the devotees whose bodies change in ecstasy, perspire and breathe heavily while hearing the glories of the Lord are eligible to enter into the Vaikuntha planets. So at this time, the four Kumaras uh, reaches the Vaikuntha planet by the strength of Yogamaya to have the darshan of the Lord. Though they were impersonalists by birth, but they got attracted by the fragrance emanating from the tulsi offered at the lotus feet of the Lord, and it brought them to the Vaikuntha to have a darshan of the Lord, from where the fragrance is appearing and want to see. So they could enter all the six gates of Vaikuntha without any problem. at the seventh gate, and they got uh, the obstacle of stopping by Jaya and Vijaya uh, to not to enter into the seventh gate. So that time the angered Kumaras they spoke this way, so they were mentioning this to the Jaya and Vijaya. Here all the residents and Lord live in harmony, and you are working in the highest position or in the service of the Lord. And how did you develop this inharmonious mentality? You are not eligible to present here. And then they wanted to curse them. And then they say that since you are seeing the duality in the world where everything is in harmony and there are no enemies exist, still you are trying to stop us. So then they say that like for you, the best place to live is in the material world where three enemies exist, which are lust, anger, and greed. So, so Jaya and Vijaya realize their mistake, what they did, and then they repent and they request the sages saying that we do accept your curse, but please bless us that we'll never forget Lord in the illusion while we are in the material world. So at the same time, so all-knowing Lord appears to appear in the situation and give darshan to the Kumaras. And Kumaras, when they saw the Lord, they always saw the Lord, means they saw the Lord originally in their heart. But when they saw the Lord personally present in front of them, so they were very pleased and they offered their prayers. You are not uh, you are not manifested to the sinful people. So your transcendental form can only be understood by your mercy. It cannot be understood by any other means, by personal endeavors. Like we can read any number of scriptures without surrendering or without detail. Try to understand the Lord. If the Lord's mercy is not there, so we won't be able to understand Lord. So, and then they are saying that all surrendered devotees who are expert knowers of the mellows always engaged in hearing Harikatha, and they do not consider any heavenly happiness or liberation. Then they're asking for a benediction from the Lord. Wherever we are born, please bless us with minds engaged in your service. Mind is engaged in your service. Words speak about you, and ears hear about you. And then finally they offer their obeisances. That's from the chapter. And that's how it enters, like in the current chapter where Lord starts speaking to Kumaras, and then he accepts accepts their offering, and then he reciprocates with it, and then he starts speaking in the next, I think, around 11 or 12 verses. So first thing, Lord approves the punishment whatever Kumaras gave to the Jaya and Vijaya. Not even accepts, and he also mentions uh, the punishment, the offenses uh, performed by his servants is also like the offense performed by him, because uh, they're under his guidance and they're working for him. So, and then the next thing Lord says that okay, the Bra- I appreciate the Brahmanas, and if any offense committed to them, I do not accept, and I'm ready to lop off my hand or any body parts which commit offenses to the Lord, Brahmanas. So, and today's verse again, the Lord is saying that the dust of his lotus feet could purify from all sins, but he attained that only by serving the Brahmanas. And the second verse is saying like many people are performing different austerities to attain Lakshmi, a small favor from Lakshmi, but she stays with the Lord, serving always, though Lord does not have any attachment for Lakshmi. So, like, there are multiple points which I thought uh, of my, like, which brings into my mind when it comes, like, one is the reciprocation between the Lord and the devotees, how they reciprocate with each other. And the second one is many devotees, or many people, they just pray to Lord like Goddess Lakshmi, but Goddess Lakshmi always wanted to stay with Lord Narayana, though Lord Narayana doesn't have any interest. And the third one is setting the example as the Lord, how the leaders could be in the this world, like how. So first point, like with coming to the reciprocation. So Prabhupada started the purport with like devotees always, Lord's devotees think that they attain all their good qualities um, because of Lord's mercy, whereas at the same time, the Lord is also saying that he attained his position where his dust can purify any sinners, all kinds of sins. He attained that status only by the mercy of, by serving his devotees. So, in that context, like if we look, like we all know that like Lord is like Sachidananda, and he is eternal, and he is full of knowledge, and he is peaceful, and he is the creator of everything, and he imparted the knowledge of creation, the Brahma, secondary creation. Though still he is not taking any credit, and then he says that he got to that position just because by serving his devotees. So, if we take the examples of like Ambarish Maharaj or Prahlad Maharaj, whenever, like, basically Ambarish Maharaj, like when Durvas Maharshi cursed him, he just folded his hands and offering prayers to Lord. He never asked for a protection or something, but Lord reciprocated, even not without requesting. He sent his Sudarshan Chakra to protect Ambarish Maharaj. Similarly, like in the case of Prahlad Maharaj, same thing. Like every time Hiranyakashipu gave the punishment to Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj didn't ask for protection, but instead he just offering prayers to Lord, and then Lord always just came and saved him from every punishment. So in the same way, like if we look at the other part, like the Lakshmi staying or serving Lord Narayana. So if we take the example of Dhruva Maharaj, like he left in anger, left from home in anger, and he wanted to perform tapasya to get a kingdom which is bigger than his father's kingdom. But when Lord appeared in person in front of him, he Dhruva Maharaj mentioned that like I was looking for broken pieces, but I found a diamond. So I basically he was saying that the kingdom, whatever he's looking, is like it's a broken piece of glass. So when we get Lord, so then all this material wealth and all would be considered nothing. And besides, in the text is saying that wherever Lord Narayana is there, so the Lakshmi will stay. So that means like the wealth will follow automatically. Lord, though it we do not have to desire explicitly for wealth. And as a opposite example, uh, where Ravana does not have any interest in Lord Rama, but he wanted Sita Devi. We all know like he is very powerful at that time, and all demigods were under his service. Uh, and he built like those golden city, Lanka. But at the end, uh, the Lakshmi has to leave, or the whole palace, everything has been destroyed, and he has nothing to be there. So coming to the third one, the leadership, like in Bhagavad Gita, it mentioned like whatever the leaders follow, leaders do, that's what the general public will follow and do. So here, Lord is setting an example, like being humble, like means he's not taking credit for the things what he's doing, whatever he could accomplish is just only by serving his devotees. Similarly, I think the leaders need to set an example in the world, like to be like not to expect any personal benefits from his followers than like serving them and setting them an example, like means because they're there to serve and give the better values to the community and society. So yeah, with that, I'll conclude. Thank you all. Please forgive me if I spoke anything incorrectly or misrepresented something of my limited knowledge. Uh, I would open anyone to share their ideas or thoughts. Krishna Lakshman Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah, if no one has any questions or something, so we can close
Okay.
down.
Thank you. I was just running.
No.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you.
Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripasindhubhya eva cha pititanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo